Good evening all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Tuesday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world is at 187 million cases of COVID-19 and has now surpassed 4 million deaths. Cases are increasing globally with the spread of the Delta variant of the coronavirus concerning the experts and leaders all across. On this, French President Emmanuel Macron has said that in order to fight a resurgence of this pandemic, vaccination against the disease will be made mandatory for all health staff and other workers who come into contact with vulnerable patients. The French president also said that if they don't act now, case numbers and hospital numbers will rise. Here in the United States, we are at nearly 34 million cases of COVID-19 with at least 607,000 deaths. Cases are going up and most new infections and deaths are being seen in unvaccinated people. The reason for this uptick is being attributed to the Delta variant. Meanwhile, GOP push towards restrictive voting laws has now become a huge matter of concern, with many states believing in the big lie that President Donald Trump won the 2020 election. On this, President Joe Biden addressed Philadelphia today, saying that this big lie is just that, a big lie. On this and much more, we have tonight doctors, political commentators, and a look into upcoming cultural events. Here are the headlines. Biden calls voting rights test of our time, political commentator Rohit Vyas, New Jersey. Coronavirus cases surge in 45 US states, Dr. Dina Adumullam, New York. Consul General of India and India Day Parade USA present curtain raiser of the 10th India Day Parade, Long Island, New York. It's time for a short break on Vision of Asia, South Asian News segment. We'll be right back. And welcome again. I'm Aditi Lamba and this is Vision of Asia, Tuesday night episode of South Asian News. On COVID-19 updates and measures, US health officials have said that Americans who have been fully vaccinated do not need to get booster shot at this time. This comes as Pfizer said that it plans to ask US regulators to authorize booster dose of its COVID-19 vaccine based on evidence of a greater risk of infection 6 months after inoculation and the spread of the Delta variant. This variant is now dominant variant of the coronavirus here and is being attributed to the uptick of cases in many states with low vaccination rates. At least 45 states are now seeing an increase in their overall cases, and 5 states, Florida, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, and Nevada, are now seeing a third wave of the coronavirus pandemic. All experts across the nation are urging unvaccinated individuals to get inoculated before this new surge spreads all across. On this, new data has found that 99% of COVID-19 deaths last month were of unvaccinated individuals. On this and much more, we have now a conversation with Dr. Dina Adumullam. Here is Dr. Adumullam. Dr. Dina Adumullam, thank you so much for giving us your time on ITV Gold today. I hope you're doing well.
Thank you, Aditi, for having me.
Of course, we have to have you because I have a lot of questions on COVID-19 and what's happening in the nation, so let's go right into it. My first question to you, new infections are up 50% across the nation. It is a little troublesome, and we are seeing an uptick of cases and even in deaths in certain regions of the nation. Why is this happening?
We believe that this uptick in cases is most likely attributed to the new Delta variant that is now present, affecting about 50% of the cases of COVID-19.
Right. When talking more about it, let's talk now about this Delta variant, doctors. Experts are saying that it's like COVID on steroids. And, that's the impact of that on the body. I'd like to know, what is it doing to the body and what is your take on it?
So the Delta variant is basically a variant of COVID-19 strain that's about 5 times or more infectious than the initial strain that was existing in the United States, which we believe came from the UK. It was called the UK variant. So we know that this type of variant is just highly transmissible, it's highly infectious, so it's very easily able to spread in communities, which is why we're seeing this uptick in cases in certain states.
How worried are you about this Delta variant?
I'm extremely worried about this Delta variant, especially in the states where people are not necessarily vaccinated to a higher extent. We know that in areas like Mississippi, for example, there's less than 40% of the population that's vaccinated against COVID-19. And so they're very high risk for the Delta variant, and they're very high risk of having other mutations develop as well.
Right. This brings me to a fact that came into the news this week. It's saying that 99% of deaths last month in June were of unvaccinated people. I'd like to know what you have observed, and do you agree with this?
Yes, so we all know that the vaccine was created to help protect us against severe complications of COVID-19 and death related to COVID-19. And so we can expect then in the unvaccinated population to see more people dying from COVID-19 as well as severe complications of COVID. So just because we live in areas where vaccination rates are high, there are areas in the country where vaccination rates are very low, where people are still dying and living in this pandemic and experiencing a lot of pain and suffering the way that many of us have experienced for the past year.
Doctor, there are some hospitals in the country that have run out of space again, that have run out of ventilators again, and it's happening in those low vaccination states. My question to you is, what should the state and local governments of these states do to increase the awareness? According to you, what should be their step?
As a physician and as a public health advocate, Aditi, what I've been noticing a lot in the population is a lot of myths out there about COVID-19, a lot of misinformation that exists there for the reason for why people don't want to get vaccinated. So I think the most important thing that we can do is start a really aggressive public health education campaign in those specific states to target what is it that people want to know about these vaccines, what myths exist out there. Because I can tell you with my own patient population, there's many questions and myths that my patients have that aren't necessarily founded. And when I explain to them the science behind what we believe the vaccine is capable of, then many of them feel less hesitant and they're able to then go and get the vaccination. So I think the best advice I have for those that are watching is to really talk to your doctor about the questions and concerns that you have about the vaccination. Don't trust WhatsApp forwards or misinformation that's propagating out there on social media. Go to the experts, go to the healthcare personnel who understand this disease and ask them the questions to get the correct information. And then make the decision that you want, if the vaccine is right or wrong for you.
Let's now take a look at the India Day Parade USA nonprofit organization, which represents the Indian American community of Long Island, New York. Also known as IDP USA, the organization empowers the Indian community by promoting economic development, education, community leadership, social advancement, and environmental awareness. On this, the organization annually brings together a celebration of Indian Independence Day with the parade to Long Island. The event is historic every year and gathers more than 100 organizations to celebrate India's rich heritage, culture, language, and arts on the occasion of India's independence from the British rule in 1947. Last year with the pandemic, the parade festivity was cancelled, but this year, with high vaccination rates in New York bringing more hope, the nonprofit recently held a curtain raiser event for its upcoming India Day Parade 2021 on August 8th in Hicksville, New York, starting at 1 p.m. This curtain raiser was held in collaboration with the Indian Consulate of New York and saw many prominent faces, including community leaders and executive directors, along with Indian actor Jugal Hansraj and philanthropist Dr. Jay Sarkar. Again, the India Day Parade in Long Island is on August 8th, starting 1 p.m. Visit idpusa.org for more information. Here is the story.
Namaste, I'm Kamlesh Mehta, the founder of India Day Parade on Long Island. We are here today at the consulate to kick off the parade of 2021. We want all of you to please come join us on August 8 on 1 p.m. at Patel Plaza on Hicksville. We also want to thank Dr. Sudhir Parekh of being our Grand Media sponsor. Padam Shri Parekh is always a big help to us, and thanks to ITV, thanks to Parekh World Media. Thanks.
So we are celebrating over here 75th Independence Day in our Consulate General Office in New York. And as an IDP president, I request everyone to join our parade on August 8th, which is going to held in Hicksville, Long Island. Everybody is welcome. So please join and participate, and let's celebrate our independence. Thank you.
Good evening. We are all here at the Indian Consulate. We are here for a curtain raiser for India Day Parade, Long Island. This is the 10th year. It's happening on the 8th of August. There are going to be a lot of celebrities, grand marshals, and lots of funfair. So don't forget to join us 8th of August in Hicksville, Long Island for one of the greatest India Day Parade.
Hello, I'm Harshad Patel, President of Gujai Samaj of New York. Today we are here for curtain raiser of IDP. This is 75th India Day Parade we are celebrating on Hicksville. So please be there. There are so many people you will see. There are so many floats and so many activities. Don't forget, if you don't come, you will miss. So please join, and thank you ITV for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Hello, Jai Shri Krishna. My name is Anil Shah. I'm a chairman, Vaishnav Temple of New York. And we are all together here for curtain raise for IDP, Long Island, Hicksville, for August 8th India Day Parade. Please everyone come, join and celebrate our nation with the pride and joy and happiness.
आई एम अंजू शर्मा, आईडीपी फाइनेंस चेयर एंड जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी। हमारे लिए बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है कि आज आप जन्मभूमि का कर्टन रेजर भारत को जो रिप्रेजेंट करता है काउंसलेट जर्नल, वहाँ आके हम कर रहे हैं। आईडीपी परेड 8 अगस्त को निकलेगी, उसमें भाग लीजिए प्लीज़। अपने देश की याद को ताज़ा कीजिए फिर से। हिक्सविल में ये परेड होगी, आप सब अपने परिवार सहित आइए।
Well, we are here at the Council, the Indian Consulate office, and on the 10th India Day Parade from Hicksville. We are very happy and we are very proud to be here today, that we have the curtain raiser today for our parade. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to be seeing the celebration at the Consulate. And actually, I am coming here after 2 years. After pandemic, everybody is very happy and delighted to be back in the Consulate to see all the activities. We want to thank our Consul General of India, Mr. Randhir Kumar Jaiswal, his team and the management of the Consulate for opening the doors for us today to start our parade. And we're looking forward for a big celebration for August 8th in Hicksville.
I also want to mention this is a great year for India because it's going to be the 75th anniversary of independence. So this is a very momentous occasion, and we are celebrating the India Day Parade at the same time, the same month, within a week of the actual day of independence. So Jai Hind.
I'm very happy to be here today. We request all the people watching ITV, please come and join us for this India Day Parade. It's your day, India Day Parade. Home away home, let's join together and celebrate it in a big way. After the pandemic, we are all out now. Let's enjoy it. We need your support. Come out. Mark the date on your calendar. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Nori. I'm here at the function in the Indian Consulate for the India Day Parade of Hicksville, and I'm very happy that pleased and privileged to be selected as one of the guests of honor, and I wish a wonderful success for the parade, and it's a very important day for all of us.
The IDP, the India Independence Day Parade, started several years ago in Long Island, and since for last 10 years it has been going bigger and better, and we are all enjoying. The community is participating. So this is our celebration day for India Independence Day, and we will be celebrating on 14th of the August. Thank you.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम वेंकटेश मुतियाला है। I'm Chairman of Board of Trustees of Telugu organization, which is known as Telugu Literary and Cultural Association, established in 1971. We are a 50-year-old organization, and I'm here in support of Consul General's Office initiative for a curtain raiser on our upcoming India Day parade. And we love to be part of this India Day parade, and we always support the efforts of our Indian diaspora in showcasing our Independence Day celebrations. And thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. My name is Dr. Jay Sarkar, and I am honored to be the Grand Marshal this year for the India Day Parade, being conducted in Long Island on the 75th anniversary of Independence Day of India. We are really honored to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee in Long Island, Hicksville, Long Island. So we'd like to welcome you all and invite you all to come and celebrate with us the India Day Parade on August 8th, 2021. Thank you very much.
We want to invite you and welcome you on August 8th in Hicksville, New York. The parade will start from the Patel brothers. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll have a kids ride. We have a lot of booths. Please do join. Please come and celebrate India Day Parade. Thank you.
Quickly, come and join us. Come and join us on August 8th at Hicksville. This is the only parade in New York, so you must join and come in large numbers. Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
Hello viewers of ITV. This is a hello to you all and happy Independence Day from India Day Parade team, Hicksville. The India Day Parade in Hicksville is celebrating Amrutotsav of our India's Independence Day this year. So this is one of the most important celebration for Indians in any corner of the world. Our love and affection for India and our commitment to our adopted country, USA, is defined by our desire to do our best for people of both countries. And celebrating India Day Parade in Hicksville fulfills that desire. So I request every Indian citizen and non-Indians to join us on August 8th on Hicksville for India Day Parade. Thank you.
I'm very happy to be here at the Indian Consulate for the India Day Parade, my first visit here. And I'm very happy to meet everyone. Thank you.
It is indeed a great pleasure and privilege for me and all of us that we have amongst us one of the finest actor of Bollywood, who is not only an actor, child artist, a model, actor, director, and national award director. So it's really our pleasure on behalf of IDP Parade, Long Island. We would love to welcome him at the auspicious occasion of the India's Independence Day celebration and at the Consulate General of India's office in New York. Thank you so very much.
We're here in the consulate with Consul General Randhir Jaiswal, who was gracious enough to host the Indian American community, which is celebrating India's Independence Day in Long Island on August 8th. And with me is Deepak Bansal, who is the president of IDP. And I just want to congratulate Deepak. Thank you, sir. Kamlesh Mehta and Bobby Kalodi, who were the founders of IDP. I want to congratulate them for their vision in doing this. As loyal Americans of Indian ancestry, we enjoy the liberties of this nation, that we can celebrate United States as well as celebrate India, and hopefully bring them even closer together. As Prime Minister Modi said, that we're indivisible. We need to be indivisible forever. Thank you.
It's now time for another short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I'm Aditi Lama, and this is Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. In politics and more, today in Philadelphia, President Joe Biden addressed voting rights and called it the most significant test of our democracy since the Civil War. This comes as at least 14 Republican-led states have enacted laws restricting voting access, especially for minorities and communities of color. The president said that an attempt to suppress and subvert the right to vote in fair and free elections is an assault on democracy, liberty, and on who we are as Americans. The president also called it the 21st century Jim Crow assault and said that it is real and unrelenting, and urged Congress to pass federal voting rights legislation that the Senate Republicans blocked last month. Meanwhile, Texas House Democrats have left the state and are in Washington, D.C. to halt a new restrictive voting law from passing. So where are we headed on this big political issue as a nation? ITV Gold senior political commentator Mr. Rohit Vyas has some answers. Here is Mr. Vyas. Mr. Rohit Vyas, welcome to ITV Gold. I hope you're doing well today.
Thank you very much. Good to see you all again.
Of course, good to see you too. Let's go right into it, Mr. Vyas, because I have a lot of questions. The president just addressed Pennsylvania and talked about these voting right restrictive laws that we're seeing across many states that are happening. The president said that looking at the voting rights, it's a big lie, which is a big lie, stays as a big lie. And then he said that these voting rights is a test of our time. So my first question to you is, how are you looking at President Joe Biden's address on these voting rights? And following that, Texas Democrats have left the states to go against the voting restrictive laws in the state of Texas. How are you looking at those two things?
Yeah, first of all, addressing this issue is of paramount importance because the so-called big lie continues right now, namely that the presidential election, the last one, which went to Joe Biden, was a hoax, was a fraud, somehow fraudulent in the way it was carried out. And there were the votes were rigged and all the rest of it. All of that is wrong and of course not true. And so, but for some reason, it's that message seems to resonate with a lot of people who believed in Donald Trump, the former president. And it was about time to come out here and say that, look, this was a legitimate election. There was nothing fraudulent about it. There was no big hoax behind it. There were no irregularities of any kind. There wasn't any kind of sabotage of the election results or anything like that. This was a genuine election, a legitimate election that took place with full safeguards in place, as always is the case in Republican and Democratic states alike. So that should be put to rest right away. They needed to address this forcefully a long time ago because there's a large amount of the population, half of the population, that still believes that election was illegitimate. Now, Texas, like other states, has been trying to implement, at least Republican states, Republican governed states, have been trying to put into effect or bring in new legislation to restrict voting in those states. And the idea, it seems, is to target the minority voters, the voters of color, who were the ones who made the difference in this past election, in the 2020 election. And that's what they're trying to do. And what the Democrats in Texas wanted to do, you see, the governor there has called for a 30-day special session and a concurrent series of special sessions to deal with this particular issue. And in order to stall the debate on it and therefore not have a vote by August 7th, which is the deadline for the first 30-day run, the Democrats decided to flee the state. And they're all up in Washington, D.C. today. They addressed the media. They met with Democratic legislators on Capitol Hill to talk about bringing up some kind of measure in the Senate and having that passed, which is not going to happen. All right? That type of measure they're talking about is to safeguard the right of Americans to vote, all Americans to vote. You need a 60 to 40 majority. That will not happen because right now the Senate is split 50-50. And Joe Manchin, the conservative from West Virginia, the conservative Democrat, it could go either way in any case. So that's not going to work. So their idea was to stall the process in Texas. The Texas governor, meanwhile, has threatened arrest. He will arrest those legislators. What I've heard, the latest was that he will have them arrested as soon as they return. So whether they return in the next few days or not, otherwise they have to stay camped in Washington, D.C. till the 7th of August and then return to their home state, Texas. And he has threatened to place them all under arrest. How this will play out legally, I'm not yet certain. The governor says he has the executive authority to do so, to order the arrests of these legislators who he calls errant and delinquent in their duty to the state. But legally, whether that will stand up to challenges, we'll see.
With this, we wrap up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on our Facebook handle @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.
Thank you.